from RFK Jr. Thanks, Aaron Everett, for putting it all in perspective. And he posts this: another theater day in Washington, and the politicians will be doing what they can to get their perfect sound bites for their next campaign. Meanwhile, a lot of us want to make sure that Robert Kennedy Jr. knows we are enthusiastic about his work there. Voices from all across America have reached out once again to tell of the great affection they have for him and for his fight against a system that has long ago stopped working. Thanks to Scarlett WTP. Let's see, who is this individual? Advocate for health, liberty, good stewardship of our planet, teacher, tutor. Okay, so doesn't look like an official, right? No, Kennedy 24 volunteer coordinator. All right. So thanks to Scarlett WTP for helping get all of these amazing voices together to support Secretary Kennedy. It's a bit of a long one, but it looks like a mini documentary of sorts.
Our frustrations and sadness have at times overwhelmed us.
But we'll see where it goes.
American politics seems exceptionally broken. That divide has taken a toll on the people of this country.
Thanks to the left.
Neighbors no longer know if they can trust the people who live in the community with them. And speaking about our politics is a clandestine act, done in whispers and
cancel
under our
culture
breaths in public.
Thank you,
we
Democrats.
watch as people we see who do speak up are silenced by defamation of their character or brought before political tribunals for scolding.
Dude, he is so right. I don't know if everybody saw it. If you watched my episode from yesterday, I show clips from Kash Patel. Or was that on Monday? Maybe it was on Monday. I don't know, man. There's so much that happens on a daily basis. It's really hard to keep track. I got short-term memory loss when it comes to like having to share like 30 to 40 different posts a day. It kind of runs together. But anyway, he just had that committee hearing where the Democrats were berating him, trying to attack his character because they're threatened by him because he's doing a good job. Kash Patel. And yeah, same with RFK Jr. And I don't think that Pamela Bondi's been in front of any hearings yet. But yeah, they're trying to attack their character. They're trying to get them, thrown out of their positions because they're doing a very effective job. And it's something that Democrats and frankly a lot of Republicans are just simply not used to in DC.
About their actions. Government is a dark place where the currency is secrecy.
It's the swamp.
Nothing is as it seems on the surface.
Oh, but it is.
As the Trump administration has attempted to make headway against this massive bureaucratic machine, it has at times felt discouraging. Bad actors and the heavy hands of entrenched
we'll talk about a brain dead lunatic
and cast aspersions of doubt upon the people who are in the throes of trying. The past weeks have seen Robert F. Kennedy Jr. under the pressure of this mercantile political machine. There have been accusations and scandalous assertions that his work is too dangerous and he needs to be removed from office before he does too much damage. The reality for so many of us, however...
Yeah, because the left, aren't they the party of Big Pharma? Like Elizabeth Warren, he said during that hearing that Elizabeth Warren took, $700,000 from Big Pharma in recent years.
Is that what is happening to public health in Washington under the leadership of
Not to mention under the table money,
is what
probably.
So many of us have been asking for a long time. We see a system that has been corrupted, one that defends the machine above all else. The people who interface with our healthcare system know it's broken. They also know it's been broken by people who have placed their own personal gain over the betterment of our nation. Our people are sick, and nearly every metric tells that tale. People who speak out against...
Yeah, dude, Secretary Kennedy said the other day during his hearing that almost 80% of children today cannot qualify for any military enlistment because, 78% of children under 18 have some chronic ailment that would prevent them from being able to enlist into the military. Unbelievably fucked up. My jaw hit the floor when I heard that.
Against the status quo are often the ones most maligned and who the machine has the most interest in destroying. The truth about deceit, which is the fuel for most politicians, is that all falsity has to be carefully curated, or otherwise the light of truth is too bright for it to survive. That's why the powerful work as hard as they do to make sure that the story and the narratives always match. They use any tool available to keep the questions or conversations silenced. But so many in America are asking for something different from Washington. And that is what they love and appreciate about RFK Jr. Today, he'll be placed in front of the Washington lectern to answer questions about his actions. It will be another performative theater for the senators and congressmen to get their perfect clips for their campaigns. They will try to assure that Mr. Kennedy looks the part of a fool, and they the hero. But the politicians will be doing it all for the wrong interests. They will be there to ensure that the system is the winner and not the American citizen. The people, however, have a different thought.
I'm Laurie A. Couture,
damn straight we do.
Children's mental health counselor. The changes that
someone who's actually qualified to talk about this
are making this world a safer place for children. Keep going, Bobby.
Amen.
For my grandchildren, I need Secretary Kennedy. Got it?
Yeah, Democrats are like, they're cherry picking.
Fighting for us, Bobby. We love you and support you.
Bobby, you are our hope for a better life for our families. Thank you so much.
Dude, millions of Americans would say the same thing.
He's not going anywhere.
My name is Dr. Aaron Rossi. I'm a chiropractor in Marietta, Georgia.
Uh-oh,
and
chiropractor.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a hero and has my full support. Thank you.
Hi.
No comment.
I'm a mom,
no comment.
I'm a grandmother, and I'm also an acupuncturist, and I 100% support Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I'm a mom.
Hey, at least she's supporting him, though.
I'm 100% behind Bobby Kennedy to make America healthy again.
Me too.
Go Bobby.
Bobby Kennedy.
Go Bobby.
I support you, and I am so thankful that you are doing the work that you're doing to protect our children and to protect our lives.
Hello, you're giving us freedom of choice.
Cole. I'm a special education
We should choose the vaccines.
And I support Bobby Kennedy's efforts to make America healthy again.
I'm a dad, and this nation needs to heal. And getting rid of the toxic chemicals in our foods is a good start. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Secretary Kennedy, for standing in the fight for medical freedom. We stand with you. Sandy
USA.
Mountain Hills, Arizona.
Wake up, America. I'm a healthcare practitioner of over 40 years, and American children have been fighting an epidemic that no one is researching. RFK Jr. is central to restoring gold standard science, free of big pharma influence.
And you don't need drugs to wake up or go to sleep.
1,000%.
Don't believe everything you hear. We still support Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Hi, Bobby. It's Emily from Connecticut. Thank you for your tireless efforts in making America healthy. I fully support you as HHS Secretary and remain in awe of your tenacity and bravery. You rock.
My name is Brooke Chase. I'm an environmentalist. I'm an aunt. I'm a dog mom. And I care about my health. And I care about your health. And I support Secretary Kennedy 100%.
Hi, I'm yet another American.
All right, let's see. Is it just testimonials throughout the rest, or?
Reforms resonate with my new Healing Our Light, daughter's horrific journey. Continue to Maha. America loves you.
Maha.
Hey, Bobby.
Yeah, it looks like it.
K Jr.
Okay, yeah, so that's good. I mean, I'll repost it if you want to check it out. But yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I bet the amount of people that really truly don't need pharmaceuticals, but they just need just good old-fashioned diet, exercise, and just enough sleep each night, I bet it would probably just absolutely devastate the pharmaceutical industry if people actually just started really carefully watching their dietary intake, making sure they're getting the right kinds of exercise. Even if you've got joint issues or things like that, you can go swimming. Swimming's a good exercise. Also rowing. I've got a rowing machine. Those things are awesome. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different things. Like, dude, we're in the 21st century. There's a million different things that you can do for exercise. The same with dieting. There's probably tens of thousands of different websites out there for nutrition. And it just goes on. And we got the entire world in our freaking pocket these days. All right, so let's go on to the next one. Next one. Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. Unelected bureaucrats unaccountable to the American public gave us unpopular policies like mask mandates, double mask, you got a triple mask, even especially when you're driving by yourself. Social distancing, school closures, and forced COVID vaccinations for kids long after the period of public emergency had ended. These policies flew in the face of science and common sense. The American people deserve better and leaders committed to that cause. I really hope people didn't friggin' forget about COVID, how ridiculous it was. The whole 6-foot distancing, the stupid walls of plexiglass that they had at all the checkout counters everywhere, even at gas stations. It was the dumbest shit ever. Especially in a grocery store where you're in this really large, wide open space, and they have just this little plexiglass sheet. Like, that's going to do anything. People wearing cloth masks, not to mention most people, unless you were wearing an N95 mask, even probably most of those, they were all made in China. All these trendy cloth masks that had those cool patterns, and they looked real sharp, and it was just fucking ridiculous, man. Like, COVID was just, talk about a clown world era. All right, here's another one from Secretary Kennedy. Thank you, Roger Marshall, MD. We will earn back Americans' trust and refocus the CDC on its core mission. And this happened at that hearing today, the Senate hearing. So
the CDC is the
here we go.
cause of vaccine hesitancy, that you are the problem. That because of COVID and your forcing these vaccines on people that weren't ever really proven or justified, that the benefits didn't outweigh the risk, and you all sat there with your hands in your pockets and you let that happen. And then you let this hepatitis vaccine be at 1 day of age, be forced upon everybody.
One day.
And all of a sudden, the moms and the grandmas never trust you because you're trying to force a vaccine that's not necessary at day one. If you're going into nursing school, medical school, absolutely, you should consider that hepatitis vaccine. But basically what the CDC does is act like a mandate. And you force doctors that don't agree with you to kick patients out of their clinics because they don't want their child to be exposed to a vaccine that was approved after just like 140 patients took it, being followed up for 5 days. It just makes no sense to me that every person needs every vaccine. But regardless, some of the vaccines have done
too much money in
incredible
that.
work. They are a miracle. They've done a great job. The basic vaccines that we got in the 60s and 70s, polio, MMR, DTaP,
Smallpox.
those seem to be great vaccines that have told the test of time. But your attitude here that every person needs every vaccine is completely contrary to Secretary Kennedy's philosophy and the mission of the president.
That was a good statement. That was pretty good. All right, we'll check out the next one. Also from Secretary Kennedy, thank you, Senator Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul, he's also involved in this as well.
I agree with you completely.
Makes sense. He's a doctor.
Restore trust in public health. But in order to do so, we have to have a discussion about the actual science.
Oh, this one's a bit longer.
We can't have a discussion. This, is about
That's
all
all right,
vaccines
though.
are good,
I bet this is
all
a banger.
vaccines are bad. This is about specific vaccines. It's about specific age groups. It's about specific policies. Does the COVID vaccine prevent transmission?
No! Thank you for asking that question.
COVID vaccine
Fuck
can
yeah.
reduce viral load in individuals who are
No,
it prevent
it
transmission?
doesn't. Oh my God, dude. I said that so much when I freaking heard that back in probably in 2020, maybe possibly 2021, especially when the Delta vaccine was rolling out. They were actually saying, like, I don't know if it was during a hearing like this, but they had to admit that it doesn't prevent transmission of COVID. All it does is lessen the symptoms, at least so they say. If you get the COVID vaccine, it'll keep you out of the hospital. That's why everybody has to be mandated to get one, because then you won't have to go to the hospital. They were lying. That wasn't a vaccine. It was a therapeutic. It wasn't even a vaccine in the first place.
When you have reduced viral load, you will have reduced transmission.
But in other words, it doesn't prevent transmission.
No,
You can
it
still
doesn't.
transmit the virus if you've had the vaccine. In fact, there's been reduced ability to interfere with transmission over time. And what we've found is the most recent
old
one
natural
since
immunity.
Omicron is down around 16% reduction, if there is a reduction. Does the COVID vaccine reduce hospitalization for children?
Dude, she would be the lady that's like, well, if it's only, even if it's just reduced by 1%, that's still good enough for everybody to be forced to take it.
And under 18.
It can.
It doesn't. The statistics
It
are
can.
inconclusive, and the reason you can't prove that it does is there's so few people under 18 that go to the hospital. The numbers are extraordinarily small. There's like 76 million kids under 18 in our country. 183 died, and a few thousand went to the hospital in 2020 and 2021.
Wow, when it was at its
Since
worst.
then, the numbers have dropped precipitously, and the
Oh,
idea
yeah.
and the issue needs to be discussed. But
yeah, the more propaganda when the Omicron was circulating around in 2022, where the mainstream media kept saying it was 75 times more contagious than the Delta variant. But yet what they were failing to mention was that what was it, like 79% of people who got Omicron had zero symptoms. Because that's a trade-off with these viruses. When they mutate, they get more contagious, but they get less dangerous, or whatever that word is that you want to describe it. And yeah, they were peddling that propaganda, leaving out a lot of information that was necessary.
It's not statistically significant. Does the COVID vaccine reduce the rate of death for children under 18?
It can.
It can. That's hilarious. Either it does or it doesn't. There's a lot of things that can happen, but that shouldn't exist. The word can shouldn't really exist in science. It either does or it doesn't. Science is supposed to be as binary as it can get. Black and white. Yes or no. True or false.
And it can. That's a ridiculous answer.
I mean, what the fuck,
no,
lady? You're supposed to be a
doesn't, and
scientist.
There is no statistical evidence that it does.
A research
reduce the
scientist,
death rate.
actually.
These are statistics. We've looked at it. When they approved it, they had this discussion at the vaccine committee that we've been talking about. During the discussion, they acknowledged that there was no proof of reduction in hospitalization or in death. So what they did is they said, what can we use to try to make people take this vaccine? they came up with this. They said that if we give you a COVID vaccine, you make antibodies. So really the whole recommendation for having a COVID vaccine from 6 months up is not based on hospitalization data, not based on deaths. It's based on whether you make antibodies or not. And what people fail to see from this is I can inject you with a foreign protein every week and measure your antibodies. You'll make antibodies every time. It just means immunology work has nothing to do with whether you should get a vaccine every week. So when we're discussing the science here, we have to discuss what is the science in favor of giving a vaccine to a 6-month-old and what are the benefits from that. And there is no benefit of hospitalization or death. And then what would the risks of the vaccine be? We have large population studies of the risks of the vaccine in younger people. And it turns out that you don't see this as much if you look at the general population, but once you start isolating in by age group, which you have to do in COVID because there's such a disparity among age group, you find that there is a risk of myocarditis, a significant event. It's somewhere between 6 and 8 in 10,000. But that's much greater than the risk of hospitalization or death.
From COVID.
Which are not even measurable because they're so small.
Wow.
So you resisted firing people
What the hell,
who
man?
have this idea that the COVID vaccine should be at 6 months. That's what this is about. You didn't resist firing the beautiful scientists that are career people and unobjective and unbiased. You wouldn't fire the people who are saying that we have to vaccinate our kids at 6 months of age. That's who you refuse to fire.
So that assertion
Here comes the convolution.
Is not commensurate with the experience that I had with the individuals who are identified to be fired.
Did any of the people you refused to fire, did any of the people you
Allowed to answer the question?
Did any of the people you refused to fire believe that we should change the vaccine schedule and no longer force 6-month-old kids to take it? Every one of them was adamant we should keep it at 6 months. Everybody's alarmed. We're going to change the childhood routine. Well, we should. There is no medical reason. What is the medical reason to give a hepatitis B vaccine to a newborn whose mom has no hepatitis?
Great, what a great question, man.
Discussion points
It's ridiculous.
brought up wherever it.
That's changing the childhood schedule. The
answer the
regular order. Regular
It's its time.
You have your time,
fucker.
Marty. I got mine. Look.
Fucking Democrats,
This
man.
is the debate over changing the childhood schedule. The hepatitis B vaccine on the schedule is given to newborns. What is the medical, scientific reason and proof for giving a newborn a hepatitis B vaccine if the mom is Hep B negative?
Well, wait. Well, they can.
I want to go back.
Maybe she has
to the
it.
assertion associated.
What is the medical reason for giving a hepatitis B vaccine to a newborn?
What is the
everybody's
reason?
like blithely going along, we can't change the childhood. You're somehow terrible if you want to change the childhood. We should be discussing what is the childhood vaccine schedule, and the burden should be on you.
Well, look, the Senate shouldn't even have to have that discussion. The scientific community should have figured this out years ago and just done it. Instead of having to go through all this shit.
The burden is upon you and the people you wouldn't fire to prove to us that we need to give our 6-month-old a COVID vaccine and that we need to give our 1-day-old a hepatitis B vaccine. That's what the debate ought to be about, not whether all vaccines are good or whether we live in Alice in Wonderland.
I actually agree with you.
Absolutely.
And I was open to the science. I just would not pre-commit.
I'm open to everything.
To approving all the ACIP recommendations without the science.
Untrue.
Untrue. You're so full of shit, lady. Oh my God, dude. Lobbying. Ban it. Ban lobbying. Just ban it. Take down K Street. Just level it. We don't need this shit because this is what it leads to. It leads to American society where almost 80% of our children have a chronic illness. It is absolutely insane.